So it has been a little over 2 weeks since Tengen has dropped on Demon Slayer the Hinokami Chronicles, and we're here to rank them. Now, if you have noticed that I have completely clean slated the tier list, we have had a lot of characters kind of like move placements and everything, and I kind of just want to redo the tier list. We're going to kind of re-go through these characters and kind of like find out where their new placements are. Don't worry, we're just going to give you a quick, brief explanation of the characters rather than just going in depth like I used to before until we get to Tengen and just kind of briefly talk about Tengen because other content creators probably do it way better than I do, and I just want to get my brief thoughts on the characters. So, without further ado, we're going to skip all the Academy characters and we're going to start with Gyu. Now, the only tiers that are actually going to be ordered, the only tier that's actually going to be ordered is S tier. Everything else is not going to be ordered. And everything else, if you guys would like me to order everything else, we could do that in a separate video, but the only tier that's going to be ordered is S tier, so let's get started. So our first A+ tier character is going to be Gyu, great for the mid to short range game. He does some of the most damage in the game with the Nagi counter, and definitely has some great buttons, a water wheel, very strong water wheel, and if you have an assist backing him to help him in his long range game, hey, you're doing just great. Next up, we got Hinokami Tanjo. We're going to put him slap up into S tier. He's going to be our first S tier character. Hinokami Tanjo just kind of has a little bit of everything. Great resets, great damage. Like, honestly, you can't go wrong playing Hinokami Tanjo, and you can't go wrong having him as an assist. He's definitely had a very, very big glow up, especially with all the tech that we have found. Inosuke, I'm going to put into A tier. I definitely do think Inosuke is definitely a menace, especially in the right hands, and if you have an assist backing him to cover his lack of neutral, it's very hard to get Inosuke off of you, and he has the best guard break potential in the entire game with Pierce. It's very strong, very powerful, to really hold down and lock down your opponent, so I definitely do think he is our first A tier character. Makimo, I'm going to put down over in B tier. The queen of neutral herself, but unfortunately she's lacking in a lot of different fields. Low damage, a lot of her combos are prone to dropping. She does have good reset. She has great potential, and you can still shine with the character, but unfortunately she does have some issues to really hold her back. Murata, I'm going to put in B tier alone, just for the fact of his assist. His assist really makes any character on this field amazing, but you miss out on switch tech because Murata himself is just an overall relatively weak character. You can do some cheeky stuff with Murata, you can really kind of get by with Murata, but most of the time you're gonna want to, rock Murata just there for the assist. Next up, we have Nezuko, and I do think Nezuko is easily the best Slayer in the game. Great buttons, great damage, great just everything. Best skills, some of the best skills in the game. Nezuko is amazing, and even as an assist, though her one assist did get nerfed to start a red combo, the character is still insanely strong, and your team will be better with Nezuko behind you and in front of you. Rengoku is going to be another A+ character, strong buttons, great forward advancing buttons, insane neutral with his tilt skill. Once Rengoku is kind of on you, he does falter because he's easy to push block, but overall the character spits damage, great DP, overall solid character, just has some shortcomings holding him out of the S tier. Sabito, I'm actually going to put in A tier because this character has seen so much love in recent times, especially fighting new tech, and now with Tengen behind him, he has access to even better resets. The character has seen a lot of love, and I do think he is a lot better than what he was way back when. Next up, we got Shinobu, and Shinobu I'm going to put down in B tier. I think as time went on, we learned how to play against Shinobu, and even as an assist, she's not what she used to be. She's still relatively annoying. Excuse me. She's still relatively annoying and can be relatively difficult to fight against, but once you learn the character, it's kind of just second nature in getting her off you. She does still have solid neutral, and the poison does help a lot, but she's a low damage character. She takes decent damage herself, and she's pretty exploitable. So definitely she has not been the character that she used to be. Water Tanjo, just going to put him in A tier. Solid all-around character. He has seen some nerfs in some recent times, but he's got a water wheel, great DP, great buttons. He's got, I think his heavy attack is a little weak, but good damage, all around solid character. Not what he used to be, but definitely still a good character. Urokadaki as well, we're going to put in A tier. Much like Water Tanjo, just a solid character overall. He takes the least damage in the game, which is very nice. He's got a good assist. He's got a good water wheel. The trap tech is not what it used to be, especially since characters could just kind of ignore it in general. But overall, still a solid character. Great buttons, good stuff. Nothing wrong with Orokodaki. Zenitsu is going to be A+. This character, this character has, in the right hands, is an absolute menace. What I do think holds him back a little bit is just like the precision that you need to play this character. But overall, good damage, great assist. He combines very well with certain slayers. Overall, very, very strong character. Just a bit of a few shortcomings to hold him out of that S tier. Akusa, best character in the game. It's crazy to me that at a time I had Akusa as like one of the worst characters in the game. And now look at the glow up that he's gotten. Sure, he still takes the most damage in the game, but he's got crazy neutral. He's got a tier 3 dash speed. He's got compass needle, which is great for punishing. He can get punished, but it's great for punishing. His tilt skill is absurd. He's got like the best fuck neutral button with his tilt demon skill. Akusa is a character that has it all, but he's still not completely overwhelming to fight against. If you pick apart Akusa, you're going to do very well because he takes the most amount of damage, but still undoubtedly the best character in the game. Rui has definitely seen some better days, and honestly, he's definitely fallen down. I would say he's probably the worst A tier character. He's definitely fallen down, but it doesn't mean that he's not a good character. It's just other characters above him just do it way better. He still has big buttons. He still has solid damage. He has full screen confirms. Honestly, the character is still very solid, and in the right hands, he could definitely be a menace. But we just have characters that kind of just do what Rui does just a little bit better, unfortunately. Suzamuru, whoopsie. Suzamuru, easily the second best character in the entire game. It's hard to explain just my initial how the first impression of this character was so bad. But as time went on and people learned how to optimize this character and really play this character, Jesus Christ, is she an absolute menace. Easy the second best character in the game. I don't need any further explanations there, truthfully honest. Yahaba is actually going to be our first C tier character, and it's mostly because of how much work you need to put in with Yahaba to really make this character work. It's very unfortunate that they made it so the only way for you to deal damage is by doing skills, and that just makes it so expensive to play Yahaba. And while he does have great damage with those skills, he has great chip damage with those skills, the only thing he really does is he just keeps you away until he can build bar or build boost. And that's it. And it's just once you get on this character, it's very hard for Yahaba to get them off of you if he's not running away at all times. And if you have no meter at all, he's actually useless on the field. Unfortunately, Yahaba, you know, you can still get some good use out of Yahaba, but you got to play at the absolute best of your ability. Next up, we have Enmu, and Enmu is going to be our third best character in the game. Insane character, great resets, great buttons, big ass buttons. One of the probably the best grab in the game, not for the damage, but for the range alone. Great neutral. I think the demons ahead of him just do it a little bit better, but overall, Enmu, insane character. Yushiro is going to be our next C tier character, and that's literally because he has a counter that counters everything. But the counter that counters everything can be countered. So to counter the counter to the counter that counters everything, you have to counter it by using a bar. Yes, you have essentially you have to spend 2 bars to make sure that you are getting your guaranteed counter off. And the fact that he's a low damage character, no range whatsoever, that's not worth it, honestly, because you need that bar to do damage. And without the bar, to spend an additional bar to counter the counter to your counter that counters everything, yeah, Yushiro is just left lacking. I definitely do think this character could be broken if they buff him the wrong way, but as it stands now, he is probably one of the worst characters in the game. It's tough to really say which character I think is worse between Yahaba and Yushiro. Now on to Tengen himself. Let's just give a brief overview before I put him into A tier. Fuck neutral. Tengen just says, screw neutral, I'm coming in, I'm gonna do damage. And while he doesn't have the best damage, the fact that he could just mitigate neutral altogether just by clicking tilt skill, this gets rid of assists, this gets rid of all that. He's got good combos, he's got good forward advancing buttons, but he does have weaknesses. He can be push blocked very easily because he has a lot of gaps in between his skills, and he's stationary for a long time. He has the worst guard skill in the entire game outside of combos. He has low damage, but everything that he kind of has just makes up for what he lacks. You know, he's got great neutral, but it's very punishable. He's got solid resets and damage, but he's susceptible to push block. He is the best, probably the best assist in the entire game right now, and he kind of just makes up for it by having these flaws, and he's a very well balanced character. I am going to take Tengen and I'm going to put him up here into A+ tier, being amongst the top 10 characters in the entire game. I definitely do think Tengen is still very strong, even with his shortcomings, but you have to play Tengen smart, because if you're just throwing shit out willy-nilly, woohoo, here comes Tengen, you're gonna get parried, you're gonna get punished, you're gonna get hurt very badly. So he benefits very heavily off of switch tech, very much, so that kind of makes him just an expensive character to play, but damn is it some very pressuring expensive stuff. So amongst the top 10 best characters in the game, but he has the shortcomings to hold him out of that S tier rank. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to completely ignore the Academy characters this time around, because honestly, I don't see a reason to even talk about them. They are the exact same characters besides Zenitsu and Nezuko, who have different ult timings, but that's about it. I'm not going to bother ranking them. We are finished. This is the brand new tier list that we're going to be going forward with, updating as we get the next DLC characters, which I believe Awakened Nezuko is next, so look forward to that. I'm going to try my best to keep on top of these tier lists, because I completely forgot to even do Enmu and Yushiro when they first came around. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys agree with this tier list. Let me know if you guys disagree with any of the placements and all that jazz. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. See ya.